There we go. Hey guys, welcome to Grooves and Motivation Live. I'm Jermaine Morgan, and we're gonna talk about something today for everybody that's a working musician or you're looking to become a working musician. Something that I feel like is very, very needed, and it's passion. It's a passionate topic for me. So stay tuned. We're gonna get right into it. All right. So good morning, everybody. I appreciate you joining me this good deep fried Tuesday. I feel like this needs to be a podcast, man. I know this is random, but I really feel like this needs to be a podcast, the Grooves and Motivation podcast. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that idea, and I might look into doing that whole thing. But yeah, I want to get into something today. We'll play a little bit, but I want to get into something today. Just this idea of musicians kind of killing themselves. Well, we get into the talk a little bit later, but first, let's jump into this good old groove. What actually took me so long getting started this morning, I had something I was trying to play. I had a track I was trying to pull up and trying to play, and I couldn't get it to do right. So I says, man, whatever. I'm gonna have to wing it and just go with a loop. Go to a looper and just create something on the spot. I was trying not to have to do that, but it is what it is. So we're gonna create something on the spot. But just for the sake of you guys who are new and you don't know about this yet, I want to let you know about something. Let me get some housekeeping, if you will, out of the way. I want to let you guys know about something. I have done something. Maybe you've seen it if you've been around and seen my channel, but I've done something. And I see you guys in the comments. Good morning, Miwosan. Good morning to you. Florent, good morning. France is in the building. All right. So I've done something. What you see in my hand is a little 4-string here, little 4-string jazz. Nice, pretty nice sound, a little bass. So we're playing this little 4-string this morning. But here's the thing about this 4-string. If I bring it a little closer, you'll see that this is my signature 4-string bass. I called it a starter in one of my videos that I put up about the bass because the idea of this bass, I wanted to do something for beginner bass players or people who just want a little 4-string bass. It's a really, really super lightweight instrument. And long story short, you can go learn more about it on my page. I put a link in the description or in the chat. Let's see here. I'll put a link right now in the chat on your own time where you can go and check it out. Check out more about this bass. But yeah, basically I released my own bass so you guys can have a Jermaine Morgan, so to speak. Right now it's only available in the States. So I'm sorry to all of my international friends and homies and buddies and pals and followers and all of y'all. But right now it's only available in the States. So yeah, this is, my, and we'll be playing this on a couple of grooves this morning. So I want to make sure that I didn't forget to mention that before I get into all this other stuff. And real quick, I wonder if I can do this really quick. Give me a second. I want to do something. So there's this thing happening called what's in my bag. So I wanted to do this. I want to show you guys what's in my bag on a regular basis. So here we have the Reunion Blues. This is the RBX bag. I've been using this case for some years now. I've been had this case for a while. I want to say at least 3 to 4 years that I've been using this case. And so what's in my bag? This particular case is normally what I have, what I use to carry my Warrior. This is normally the case that has my Warrior. And if I open the case all the way up, you get to see how well this bass is, it got that nice little protective, little covering here for it. So it's very well protected, very well padded. The bottom is nice, and I don't know how well you can see this, but the bottom is pretty nice and thick with this case, and it has the little, protection here so you don't accidentally scar it up with your strings and at the top and with the bridge, all these little pointy pieces. You don't automatically, scratch it up and that type of thing. And I will say this case is held up pretty well. I'm not typically bad on cases, but I've been known to go through a few of them. But I've had this one at least 3 to 4 years, and as you can see, the thing is pretty solid. It's in pretty solid shape. I've traveled with it. I've been different places with it, and I've had it. And so what's in here? Let's check out what's in the case. You see my base is in it. And so on this side, we have this little large compartment right here that you can keep all kind of stuff in here. I normally keep a backup strap, Jermaine Morgan signature strap, by the way. And I have my cables normally wrapped up in this cably. I've never gotten the right pronunciation for this, but it's a thing made by Singular Sound, and it's basically, I'll show you real quick. It's basically to wrap your cables, all right? So what it is, I did a video about this a while back, but you're able to put your cables in there, right? And easily put your cables in there, and it basically winds the cables back up. So if I want to wind this one back up real quick, I'll just stick it in there like so. Make sure it's at full length in terms of go to halfway point of this cable, and I just simply wind it. I wind it back up. And that allows me to put my cables away nice and neatly. Normally I keep 2 of these in my case. These are Pig Hog cables that I use, by the way. So if you're wondering what these cables are, these are my handy dandy Pig Hog cables that I use. And I've, been rocking with Pig Hog for some years now. Great cables, by the way. I forgot the name of these actual cables. Maybe you can zoom in on the video and see the type of cables they are and go find them on the website. I have to look them up. Maybe I'll link them below. But this is what I use. This is what's generally in my case. And most of the time I have my earphones in. I got a different bass case as well. So my in-ears are in that bass case as well. So those are typically the things that you can keep in this compartment. Now, if you don't have the little cable eye or whatever, they do have this Velcro thing that you can wrap your cables up and just kind of keep them neatly packed away. They have 2, pouches for pens and, notebooks or whatever else you need, little storage pouches. And so, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what's in my bags. That little segment brought to you by me, so you know what's in my bag. And this is the case that you'll normally probably see me with the RBX Reunion Blues case. All right, so back to the show. All right, so who we got? We got Washington State. I think that's what that is. Big Dub, good morning to you, sir. I like the 5-string, but I do need a good 4-string. I'm gonna have to check that out. Please do. Please check out the 4-string. So yeah, that's what we have. This is a 4-string. Of course, me, we got to keep it all branded. So I got the signature strap to go along with the bass on here right now. The black and white, the Jermaine Morgan JM signature strap. So yeah, this is JM signature jazz bass. So I just want to tell you guys about this. Florent, thank you. So again, this is very, very simple. I wanted to do something that was very affordable. So I won't go into all of that. Let's see if I can come up with a groove this morning. Now that we got the housekeeping stuff out of the way, let's see if I can get into a groove this morning. I'll warn y'all now, I actually have nothing in my head at this moment. So we're gonna flow from the top of the dome, which is nothing right now. Let me cut this up just a little bit. It's the bass. I see what happened. It went down on my looper pedal. There we go. All right. So we're going to see what we can come up with for you guys this morning. And so before anybody asks, yes, I have this particular bass tuned flat for the sake of how I prefer to play. I do tune standard when I'm teaching and that type of thing, but this is not a teaching lesson. So I am tuned flat. So tuned down to E flat for the ones that want to know. I don't like the way that loop. Let me not even play with that. I'm gonna do it again because I don't like the way it loops. Sorry guys, I'm funny like that. I have no idea where this is going. Okay. I can do it better.
Four string always makes you think different. Like it literally always, for me, it always makes me think different because I'm so used to playing 6 and 5. The 4 like makes you really think different. And each bass, in my opinion, makes you think a different way, coming from a different perspective. Because what's comfortable for me to do past the 12th fret is not as comfortable on a 4 string to do. I can do it, but it's not as comfortable. So I don't flow as freely in that range as I do on a 6 string or even a 5 string that has more than 21, 22 frets. So you have to think slightly different to get your point across. So for something like this, you automatically, this bass is definitely passive. This is a passive bass, by the way. Yeah. So you're definitely dealing with a passive bass here. Yeah, dealing with passive. You definitely dealing with that. So anywho, it makes you, for me, it always makes me think differently when I'm on a 4 string. I normally reserve 4 string basses for like if I'm playing like something that's really old school groovy. Even I did a record for, if any of you guys are familiar with the Williams Singers, they got a song on their last record called Cortages. The name of the album is Cortages. There's a song on there called Been Born Again, and I actually produced the music for that song. So if you hear that song, if any of you guys are gospel quartet heads and you've heard the Cortages album and you heard that song Been Born Again, I actually played that song and the bass part I played on the 4 string bass. And so it just it all so it's like what is it? Something like that. I can't even remember. I gotta go back and listen to the song. But what's the vamp?
It's like the drive is like that kind of idea. Because it, to me, when I was creating the music for that song, it just felt right on 4 string for some reason, and just having access. And I think I had my bass tune flat as well, so I was playing that low E flat. So I want to say that song is in C sharp. C sharp. And then the last line, something like that. Yeah, something like that. But anyway, if you check out that song, the whole song is played on the 4 string. So if anybody wants to know, man, do you ever play a 4 string? You ever record anything on a 4 string? Absolutely. I record on 4 string all the time. You just mostly see me here on YouTube with 4 and 5, not 4, but 5 and 6 strings that you see me play all the time. But when I'm in writing mode, when I'm in production or creative mode, you know, I'm just going to pull out whatever feels like it fits the song more. So like even when I get to more soulful stuff, that feels more old school, you know, like some things that I did for TV that felt more old school. You know, something along that lines. It's gonna feel a little bit more P bassy, and I can get that tone out of my other bass that actually is a P bass, PJ bass rather. And but you can see this bass here, it mimics that tone pretty well. You know, we can get that like nice muted. Playing off that front pickup right now. All right, so the question is, do you have any riff ideas for church worship songs? Absolutely, Mr. David. I've done a whole course on that, or instrumental rather, where I do that with what's the name of that? Contemporary. It's called Contemporary Bass Jam Pack or something like that. It's on my website, JermaineMorgan.net, by the way. Contemporary Bass Jam Pack. I got all of those, you know. I got several ideas of licks that you can do within those songs. But yeah, so that gives you some ideas and things you can do there. So let's move on. Sean Lewis, good morning to you. Congratulations on the new line of basses. I appreciate it, sir. But yeah, just moving on into this. I don't want to be here super long, guys, but I just wanted to talk a second about I want to talk about what was I want to talk about? Don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself trying to gig. Don't kill yourself trying to gig. I think this is really a topic. One of my missions in life, I feel like, is being able to help musicians to see that there are other ways to create and generate wealth for themselves outside of gigging, outside of, you know, the 4 walls of just playing at church or the 4 walls of a regular gig, or even if you're playing outdoor gigs most of the time. There's so many other ways that we can create income and revenue for ourselves. And I just want to make sure that we talk about some of those things, or at least introduce you to the idea. One of the things I've noticed a lot over the last few years, and it's just my whole time of being a musician in general, I've had many friends who are musicians who have passed away, you know, over the years. And many of these guys, a lot of times, have, you know, went on to, you know, to be with the Lord, so to speak. And yet there was no financial legacy left, right? And many of these guys worked very hard as musicians. I don't want to take anything away from the effort and the energy and the time that they put in being working musicians. They worked really hard to develop their craft, You know, they played on, some of these guys played on major and minor stages all around the world, traveling with these different people and that different person. And oftentimes there is no financial legacy left. And the reason that's not the case with a lot of musicians, not everybody, but a lot of musicians, because I believe most musicians only think from gig to gig mentality. You know, even if we have a solid gig where we're locked in, we're still thinking gig to gig. You know, each week I come in, I do this gig. I know I'm going to get this amount of money. I have my lifestyle. Whether you're getting paid a lot of money or a little bit of money, you kind of have your lifestyle built around that gig. Or your, if you are like some people that I knew when I first moved to Atlanta, they gigged all week. You know, they could make a comfortable living. You know, they had a main gig that they did. Maybe that was a Sunday gig at a church, and then they gig. I mean, stuff always going on in Atlanta. So they gigged around the city Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they made a comfortable living. But at the same time, to what expense? What is it costing you? And so the thing I want to put on your mind today, what is it costing you to keep gigging? Now, just for my purists, my musician purists out there, like, man, that's what we do with musicians. We gig. That's what they hire us for. Correct. You do gig, but that ain't all you do, right? And what I want to help you to do is to uncover and discover your value that you bring to the marketplace beyond just your skill to play. I want to help you to discover the problems that you solve and maybe some things that you're missing out on that you could uncover as it pertains to your musical income. Because the downside, here's the pros to having a gig. Just say if you're one of the musicians that you live in the city and you're like playing at a major situation. Let's say you play at a major church situation, right? And so you're making a comfortable $30,000-$40,000 a year that you're doing with a church situation. So you're gigging Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, making an extra $20,000 to $25,000 a year. That's about $55,000 or $60,000 a year, which is a decent living for the average anybody, you know, let alone a musician. You're making a decent living as a musician. But the downside of that is you don't have any time. And oftentimes, when it comes to like your healthy eating habits, that's out the window because you eating what you can find, right? Sometimes you might run up on some situations that's a nice thing, but oftentimes there is very little consistency. Now, here's one thing I want to talk about for the gigging musicians. I want to kind of dial in on this part really, really quick. If you are a gigging musician now and you don't plan on like retiring or doing anything different anytime soon, what we have to figure out is, okay, how can I develop a system that helps me to maximize my time? Because again, if you're the musician who's gigging all week long and you're constantly having to learn music, then you have no time for life, right? If you don't have a really good system and you don't have a really good memory, or you don't have a good way of retaining music quickly, then you don't have a life. You pretty much music all day, right? It's all things music all the time, which for many of us, that's no problem. But what happens when we start adding things to the equation, like a girlfriend or a spouse and kids, right? And social gatherings and those types of things that you want to do, or get into other ventures, that type of thing. I want to get into some other things, but you don't have any time to do that because all of your time is spent learning music. Now, I'm going to say something that's really, really unpopular, probably among the musician community. But if you know me, if you're somebody watching and I've gigged with you, then you probably have seen or noticed this about me. I made a decision a long time ago that I'm going to stop spending all this time learning songs. Now, if you want this tip, take notes or whatever. But here's what I decided to do. I said, you know what? I didn't retain music quickly. That was my Achilles heel when it comes to being a professional musician. I have a hard time retaining music. And you can't say, well, you just got to sit with the music. You got to do. Yeah, that's true. And over time, after I play it over and over again, I get it. But on a normal basis, and this is what I mean. Let me put this in context for you. So when I was like just 100% gigging musician, oftentimes I would get music a lot of times, and not mention you get thrown into a position where somebody pulled out, and cats know you can do it. They know you have the skills to do this situation, but these jokers sent out like 20 songs, and the rehearsal is tomorrow. Like what? Yeah, yeah. So we sending out 20 songs. Like a lot of you guys deal with that now with these corporate situations. The corporate bands are like all the rave right now. So they send out 20, 30 songs that you have to learn, and sometimes you might know two or three songs. But all right, so get this scenario. For me personally, there's been times that I've played with artists, so it's all original music. I ain't ever, and yeah, I know this terrible English, terrible grammar. I ain't ever heard some of these songs before. So you telling me you sending me this song? You hit me up at like it's Monday morning at like 9 o'clock. Yo, Jay, are you free Friday? The way I approach those questions now, what's happening Friday? It all depends on what's going on. I don't know if I'm free yet. I might be, I might be moving a refrigerator or something for somebody. You never know. So I approach those situations with caution now, because I know I could get drug into some stuff that could potentially sabotage my own, name or reputation for being able to do certain gigs. So they call me. So are you free Friday? All right, I'm free in this scenario. All right, so we got this gig. The bass player pulled out. Want to know if you can do it? It's simple, man. This stuff is real easy. Musicians, I don't know why we do this. MDs, everybody always say that. Man, it's simple stuff. It's like you already know most. No, I don't. I don't know this stuff. You could. It's gonna be easy for you. All right, got you. So they send the song list over, because that's the first thing I asked. All right, send the song list over. Or now I got smart. I asked how many songs before I even accept anything. But at this time I wasn't as smart, so I was like, all right, just send the song list over. They sent the song list over, and it's like 20 songs on there, literally 20 songs. Rehearsal is tomorrow. It's Monday morning, 10 o'clock. Rehearsal is tomorrow, like 11 a.m., right? It's going to take me an hour to drive there. So tomorrow is already shot, unless I get up super early working on this music, which typically I normally do, just to refresh, to make sure I'm solid. So I don't retain music fast, or at least that's been my MO for the most part. I had a hard time retaining music very quickly. So what I started to do, getting back to what I said earlier, if you've gigged with me, I start charting everything out. I made my mind up. I ain't committing all this stuff to memory no more. I ain't doing it. So again, that's my thing when I said it's unpopular for the musician community. I ain't committing all this music to memory right away. No more. And let me tell you why I made this decision. I've been in countless, like that situation there. I did that particular gig. I showed up to the rehearsal, which ate up all my time. That rehearsal was supposed to be like 2-3 hours, and that rehearsal ended up being like 6 hours. It was something ridiculous. Anyway, because the artist ended up getting there late, and then he wanted to rehearse for some extra time. So it was kind of crazy. So I did the gig, and I'm sure if I pass the mic around, many of you musicians got the same horror story. Like, we've done these situations. We get to the rehearsal. The rehearsal only supposed to be 2 to 3 hours. You end up being there all day. You go over this music, and they end up either taking something away from the list or adding something to the list. So we do this gig. And then the gig is like a dope gig. Now, don't take us the wrong way. The gig was dope. We have a lot of fun. But out of those 20 songs that I learned and I crammed and I put my energy and effort in trying to remember, making little notes here and there. This is before I was exclusively charting stuff. I was trying to commit a lot of this stuff to memory because it had some parts in there that I needed to know. So I'm sitting down, like, trying to learn all these songs and cramming this stuff. And my guy gets to the gig and do 10 songs. I'm like, oh yeah, I got you. From now on, that wasn't the only scenario, but those things happen over and over and over again. So I got to the point, I said, I'm not committing all this music to memory, because I'm like, this is this artist, this is his music. I'm never going to play this stuff again unless he calls me to play it. And at that point, I know it, but I'm never going to play this. Now, the flip side of this, I made a mistake. I'll never forget this, and I probably never live this down for some cats. But I made the mistake. Let me say this, young musicians or even old musicians. I made the mistake one time. I played with this artist. I'm not telling you don't learn the music. Let me make this example. I am not telling you do not learn the music. Learn the music, but find a system that helps you to retain the music quickly, or at least have the music under your hands where you can go in there and knock out the gig, do what you got to do, and go on and still have your time. And so, case in point, when I say don't not learn the music. So I was playing with this artist one time, saxophonist. I did the first gig with him, and he sent out the song list of all these songs, and a lot of them were covers, a lot of cover songs. He had about 4 or 5 original songs, and then the rest of them he did covers. Oh, well, at least the list was covers. I was like, all right, so I'm gonna learn all these cover songs. I learned his original material. Another situation where I sat there and learned all this material. And so we get to the gig, this particular gig, my first gig with him, and we did all his originals. Ran the showdown with all his originals and extended the originals. We did like maybe 2 covers. He sent out like 10 covers. We did like 2 of them. So I was like, okay, got you. Lesson learned. So the next time I got called back to do a gig with him, he's like, all right, he sent the song list out. I'm like, bet. I know all of his original music now. I got that. He might send like 1 extra song that was an original. I'm like, sweet. I'm going to learn this joint, and I already know he's going to stick. Amateur mistake. I know he's going to stick to, his originals because he didn't really even hit them covers. All right, so we get to this gig, different band. I'm still the same on bass, and then the drummer is still the same, but a completely different keyboard player. All right. So him and the keyboard player, they go back years. So they start the whole night. Let me back up. So I said with this gig, I ain't finna learn all these covers, Doc. I'm not doing that. And I made my mistake doing that last time, wasted my time learning these covers. I ain't finna do it. I know he's gonna do his original music. I'm gonna learn like 1 or 2 of these covers, and we gonna be out. Mistake. All right, so we get to the gig, and so we're playing this music, and my man starts calling out cover after cover after cover after cover, and I'm going down in flames the whole night. The drummer is dying laughing at me the whole night. It was one of the most embarrassing gigs that I ever did in my professional life. And I went down like this was like at the Georgia Aquarium. Like this was like not a little Chitlin Circuit gig. This was like a big deal. And I'm going down in flames. It's like, oh no. And like the slow fall that people do. You see on these memes and stuff like that. It was a slow fall. So I'm going down in flames the whole night. And he did 1 original song. And then he went right back to covers. I'm like, oh, this is never going to end. So needless to say, I walked down with my head head down in shame that particular night, and I learned my lesson. Never show up to a gig unprepared. Never show up to a gig unprepared. So dealing with the gigging musicians, because I said I was going to start with you guys first. Never show up to a gig unprepared. Likewise, find a system that allows you to have a life and time, right? So you need to still show up prepared. But so what I started to do, I developed a charting system using my numbers and stuff like that. And then I got a little shorthand that I use when it's a lick or something like that, how I used to remember. So from now, when I do gigs, I write everything down. You can laugh, you can talk, whatever, but I'm gonna be solid. I'm gonna know what I'm supposed to be doing on this gig. I have some coughs, hiccups every now and again, but for the most part, I know the show. Especially if I get enough time where I can kind of really sit with my notes. For me, I know for me personally, that system works great for me because as I'm writing it down and going, stopping, rewinding and writing it, I learn the music faster personally. So where it would take me hours to learn 1 song, I can learn the whole show in an hour. You know what I'm saying? So I sit there and jot the whole thing down. Like if it's a small show, I can sit there and jot the whole thing down. And what I do from that point on, my practice time, I just keep rehearsing the show with my notes. I just keep rehearsing the show. So I'm just looking at my system. That's my system that I got. And what that allows me to do is free up all my time where I would spend a whole day learning songs. I don't do that anymore. I don't spend the whole day learning songs. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not committing that to memory. So after a while, though, here's the good thing. After a while, me playing the song once or twice, I got the song. Once we play it live, I play it through 1 time, maybe 2 times. I'm sweet with it. Like, so if we do a sound check, chances are I'm going to be pretty close to solid with the song, even without my notes. But the notes are there. So I just shortened my whole time span that it took me to put into that. Because my thing, I'm not going to kill myself gigging. And now my anxiety and my stress level, if they decide, hey, we don't want to do this song, cool. I didn't spend hours learning this. So that's the trade-off. That's the pros for me. The cons is I have to like bring my computer. or something that I can light it up. Because there has been times that the stage is dark, so your little notebook or whatever, or you got a notebook, you're outside and its pages are flipping and all that kind of stuff. That don't work. So I had to figure out other ways to make sure that I'm able to do it and have a music stand and all this kind of stuff. It's slightly inconvenient in some regards. And it could, with your music peers that everybody's memorized the music, it could feel some type of way. But I'm like, at the end of the day, if I am delivering, I'm bringing what I'm supposed to be bringing to this situation, energy-wise, performance-wise, then you really don't have anything to say other than the fact that, he has his music stand. But I just learned from experience. And I see you guys in the comment section. I'm just trying to make sure I get all my ideas out. For some reason, I'm 40 now, so if I don't get them out, it's like it's like I missed it. But so if you are a gigging musician, stop giving your time away to people because they are not paying you for your time. Sorry, you're not getting paid for your time. Now, you are adding value to that situation, but the way that people are looking at you, you might be a dope musician and they know that you're going to bring a certain thing, but they are not paying you for your time. I'm sorry to tell you, they are paying you to play those songs. They are paying you for that gig. If you think they are paying you for your time, calculate your time up and divide by what you're getting paid and see how you come up short. Tell me what your time is worth and then divide your time by what they're paying you for that gig. And then that'll give you a clear indication if you're really getting paid for your time. I know there are some situations, and I got musician friends who play for some really lucrative situations and they get paid. They get really, really taken care of, and so in those scenarios, that's cool. Maybe they are getting somewhat paid for that time. But I say you don't get paid for your time because I heard the scenario here. If somebody says they're going to give you $1 million, right? I'm going to give you $1 million today. All right. I'm going to give you $1 million today. But they said the only catch to it is tomorrow you have to die. How valuable is that $1 million then? Because you hear the term time is money, right? Well, if they tell you I'm gonna give you the $1 million today, but tomorrow you gotta die, do you really want the $1 million? Nah, you don't want it. You don't want it that bad because if you gotta die tomorrow, the $1 million wasn't worth having, right? You're like, I'd rather go the long way around and just have a little longer life if I gotta get this $1 million today and then die tomorrow. It's not worth it, which means your time is worth infinitely more than your money, right? So you have to make sure that you're not trading too much of your time for a little bit of somebody else's money. So that's why I say musicians, and I even wrote the book 10 Ways to Success to Working Musician. Shameless plug. If you don't have my book, you want to go and get my book, 10 Ways to Success, the Working Musician. This is available on Amazon. This is available on my website, JermaineMorgan.net, if you want a signed copy. And and I can also put a link down below if you want to get that book. Matter of fact, let me do this because I don't want to forget. And I know some of you guys, you want the book. Listening to what I'm talking about right now, you want this book. I'm gonna tell you, I know you do. So I'm gonna give you access to this book, and I'm gonna shoot it to you right now in this chat because I know you want it. You're trading too much of your time. You're trading way too much of your time. I'm gonna just tell you straight out. You're trading way too much of your time. And when I finally got hip to this as a musician, I was like, like when the light bulb switched on for me, and I'm like, you're trading all your time for this money and you don't get your time back. Like if you're missing stuff with your family, you're missing stuff. Like there were gigs I was doing. I was missing birthdays. I was missing important family events, things that I should have been at, or even, for my wife or whatever, things that I should have been at. I'm doing a gig instead. Like, nah, I can't keep doing this. Nah, I'm not going to keep doing this. And so I had to make decisions because as a musician, how do we make our money? By playing, or so we think. We think we make our money only by playing. If we're small-minded, that's the only way we make our money, by playing, if you're a musician. No, you can make your money in other ways as a musician. And again, in that book, 10 Ways to Success, I talk about several ways. Now, many of those ways do include playing. Now, other ways, you're monetizing your music in another form. And like everything, you have to figure out, you have to figure out how do you add value. one of the things I've learned, you have to figure out how do you add value. And I want to tell you guys this. Many of you all of you rather, who are watching me today, you were born to lead. I was listening to this really, really powerful message by Miles Monroe this morning. He was talking about leaders and how we're born to lead and all these different things about us being leaders. And many of us miss out on opportunities to really express who we are and to impart what we have and even possibly profit off of what we have, because we think we dumb our gift down to only playing. And I don't say that as an insult when I say dumb it down to only playing. Playing is a prestigious honor. To be able to be a great musician, to be a sought after musician is a prestigious honor. But if you're only a gigging musician, how does your family, and this is how I want you to think moving forward, how does your family eat off of that once you're gone? If you're playing on a whole bunch of records, and like, man, I'm first call studio, sweet. Man, I'm first call production, sweet. Are you getting any points on the record? Are they giving you any royalties off of the stuff you're playing, or is it you always getting handed a work for hire form? And even with those type things, I do some stuff with people. I started pulling back with that work for hire stuff too. I understand that it's a work for hire, but let me make sure you understand that it's a work for hire. So once we're finished with this, don't be looking for more than, don't be pulling on me for other stuff. Like, I'm just talking real talk. I'm saying what I'm saying today. Don't be pulling on me for other stuff if this is a work for hire. Let's treat it like what it is, right? And that goes for if it's a church, if it's anything. If you are contracted to do a job, don't get it twisted. You are there to do a job. I hate to be the one to break that to you. If you are contracted, if you are on contract, they hired you and you have a contract in your hand to do a job, then you are hired to do that job. That's what you're hired for. Whatever that contract details is what you're hired to do. So if you start looking at it as it's more than that, you are the one who are left holding the bag at the end of the day. And you're frustrated because you made it into more than what it was. Because when you try to communicate something back, well, I thought, no, I thought they're going to pull that contract out and show you what it was. Now, as much as you will do on your own, oh, absolutely, I'll take that. Oh, absolutely. You want to stay and be the janitor too? When I'm paying you to be a bass player or a drummer or a keyboard player, oh, you want to stay and do this and you want to travel and, okay, you want to go with pastor? Right? All right, cool. Just understand this is what I'm paying you for. So don't look for nothing else from this. I'm just giving you guys real talk because oftentimes, as musicians, we're so passionate about what we do. We will give and give and give and give. And other people will take and take and take and take until you're left with nothing. Right? And so all your time you had that you could have created something for yourself that serves you beyond your death or that serves your family, you don't have time to create it because you're too busy trying to be at the church. You're too busy trying to be at your gig. You're too busy trying to make sound check that they waste all your time at. They call it 2:00 sound check and y'all don't check to 4. And then the gig ain't till 9:00. You lost your whole Saturday or whatever day that gig was. You lost your whole day. This gig paid $200. You lost your whole day for $200. Is that enough? That's all your day is worth. I ain't trying to pick on nobody. I ain't trying to pick on nobody, but I want you as musicians. This is a passion of mine. Obviously, I am a musician, and I've seen too many friends die broke, not leaving their kids anything. And they've served preachers. I'm a church guy. So I forgive me if I seem like I'm coming at the church folks. I'm not. That's just my world. That's what I know. But you see these cats who serve faithfully these ministries, and they played until they got sick and died. And some of these pastors that they went out of their way to serve won't even show up for the funeral. Nah. And I'm not trying to throw these pastors under the bus, but I'm trying to get you to see the value and the importance of your own time. Everything in its proper place, it is what it is. I don't mind serving and doing things for people, and I'll go out of my way for a lot of folks, but I want to keep that stuff in its proper perspective. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, period. That's all to it. I ain't expecting anything from that. So vice versa. If I can't do it, understand that when I did do it, I was doing it out of the goodness of my heart. Don't throw me under the bus because I'm not available to you anymore to do this. I was doing this because I wanted to, and I was available to do it. But now I got some other things that I'm trying to work on. The Bible speaks of a good man leaving an inheritance for his children's children. And so if you're going to work on building an inheritance, you can't do that if you're gigging 7 days a week and you're always learning music. That's the only thing I'm trying to get across to you guys. One of the things I'm grateful that I've been fortunate to do with my website over the years and other ventures that I've been doing, but mainly my website, is I've been able to put down gigs that I didn't want to do. Because we all know, I mean, if we be honest, musicians, let's keep it 100. You got gigs that you've done that you would have rather not done, but you just did anyway. I need that gas money. I need that light bill money. Baby needs some shoes. Mama needed a dress, right? You know, you did some things you didn't want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's responsible. If you got to do what you got to do, that's fine. Just make sure, the only thing that I am saying, make sure that you don't get so consumed into doing all these external things for everybody else. You look up and 6 years has passed and you said you was going to do this. You was going to drop a record. You was going to build your website. You was going to do all these different things, because by the time you kick it off, your stuff is gone. It's played out. It's played out. Whereas you could be on the third leg of your idea. Now you just getting kicked off and you way late in the game. Now, it's not too late that it's pointless. I don't want to give you that idea that, well, I don't waited too late. It ain't no point. No, I don't want to give you that idea, but I do want you to get some urgency behind what it is you're trying to do. I do want you to get a level of urgency behind what it is you're trying to do and understand that time waits for no man. So if you keep giving all your time away for a little bit of somebody else's money, they're going to be straight and you're going to be broke at the end of it. Because your gig pays for that gig. And chances are it's not paying you enough. Let's be honest. Musicians are very, very underrated and very, very underpaid in a lot of situations. Now, there are a handful of us who get overpaid for what we produce. We're not giving what we're getting paid. That's a handful of us. But the ones of us who know our true worth, we know our true value, we know what we put into this instrument, figure out other ways to monetize your music. I can't tell you what that is. Now, I can suggest to you what some of those things might be by, okay? But I can't tell you what that is for you, right? You have to discover what that is. You have to unlock your own potential. That's going to come through trial and error, through trying some of those ideas that you've been had. Hey, man, I want to do this. I want to start this event. I want to start this festival. I started a festival. I did, man, a whole bunch of stuff. Didn't get the return. Didn't get the thing that I thought I was going to gain from it. I didn't necessarily get that, but I tried it. I put that energy out there. I had a vision. I tried it. I put it out there. I pushed it for about 5 years. It didn't do what I thought it was going to do, and it was costing me too much. So I couldn't continue it. I'm not saying I won't come back to it, but I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't develop those skills and even develop that side of myself if I didn't jump out there and do it and try it and see if it'll work. So I'm encouraging you guys. There are some things you've been sitting on for years that could possibly make you very wealthy. And let me give you this thing. Oftentimes, it's the thing that you do with the least amount of effort that's like your cash cow. You do it with the least amount of effort. Like, you just know it. I heard somebody say this. If more than 2 to 3 people have come and asked you about this thing because you seem to be the expert on it, you need to create a course about it. It might not be bass lessons. It might not be bass lessons. It might be something completely different. But if more than one person has come to you over and over again asking you about this, like case in point, I'll use myself. So cats come to me. Hey, Jermaine, how you play that lick that you did on X, Y, and Z? Oh, man, all this was I did that. Oh, okay, cool. Somebody else come. Hey, Jermaine, how do you do this? How you do that? Like, wait a minute. I'm getting a lot of questions about this particular thing that this is just stuff I just be doing. I don't even be thinking about. All right. Well, let me put something together and see if people be interested in buying it. All right. I put a course together where I'm showing people how to do the very thing that a lot of people ask me to do. And then all these other people come and buy it. Wait a minute. Ding, ding, ding. I'm on to something. Let me figure out how to get this out to more people. Because what I did with that concept, in terms of my website, me being grateful for that, it allowed me to duplicate myself. One of the things we talk about in I think it's Genesis 2, where it tells be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. You know, like what is it? Be fruitful, multiply, subdue, and have dominion, whatever. So when we talk about that, most people think, okay, I supposed to be having a lot of babies, making, more kids. That's what all God was talking to Adam and Eve about. He wasn't just talking to them about having kids. He put something in them. You know what I'm saying? And he put the ability to create in all of them, to be creators, to be creative. And so we're supposed to produce. We're supposed to multiply what we produce and then, produce it and put it out into the world. I have, there's a verse that I have in my list. When I say my list, it's kind of, some of y'all have vision boards. I have what I call a goals, dream, reality list, right? And so at the end of my list, one of the things I have in my list is Proverbs 11:26. For you people who think, well, I don't got nothing to create, or people won't buy. Well, I'm going to create something, but I'm going to just give it away to everybody. Listen to this real quick. Proverbs 11:26. He who withholds grain, the people will curse him, but blessing will be on the head of him who not gives it away, but who sells it. I'm going to read it again. He who withholds grain, the people will curse him. So if you keeping that thing you got that you've been holding in your mind for so long, that idea, this vision, this concept that you've been holding on to because you think don't nobody want it and you won't put it out there, people will curse you for that. But blessing be on the head of he who sells it. They will bless you. Like if you sell it, if everybody's hungry and you've are the only person in the city with a garden, right? Let's put it in that context. You're the only person in the city with a garden. People got money, they just don't got access to food. You're the only one around here growing the thing that they need, the food that they need. You're the only one around here growing it, but you won't even sell it to anybody. People will curse you. But if you have what people need, they are willing to pay you for what you have. This is scripture. They are willing to pay you for what you have, but when you withhold it from it, people will curse you. So I'm like, nah, I know that I have something that's valuable. And so once I uncover what my value is, now I can put a price on it and I can make it available for the marketplace. And now that might not have nothing to do with me playing a gig. I went like 2-3 years, didn't play no gigs. Maybe one here and there, but I had something valuable to sell to the marketplace. And maybe that was by way of lessons. Maybe that was by way of a book. 10 Ways to Success. I ain't playing nothing on that book, right? But I'm telling you things so when I say it might not be your playing, it might be a book for you. It might not be 10 Ways to Success, the working musician, but it might be something that you have that's unique to you, that you've learned in your journey that could help musicians or entrepreneurs or leaders or whatever it is you do, because all y'all ain't exclusive musicians. So you have something that's valuable that people are willing to pay. They don't care. It's an old school saying, said the truth don't care who tell it. I don't care where it's coming from. If it's the truth, I need it. I need that. So if you're going to give it to me, I don't care where it's coming from. I need the valuable information that you have. And if you won't give it to me, I'm going to curse you. I ain't, but people will. So hopefully if you don't get anything else from this, get the urgency behind why you need to be doing something more than killing yourself with a gig, right? Something you need to be doing. You got to do something more. I'm pleading to my musician community. We got to do something more and stop copying and pasting. Now, there's nothing wrong with drawing inspiration from what somebody else is doing. But you have your own fingerprint. You have your own unique fingerprint. Like this right here, I'm putting myself on blast. This right here is a venture. I don't know if y'all gonna buy this bass. I hope you do, but I don't know. It's an idea I had. And I took upon myself to pursue this idea. Let me try to see what happens. I'm gonna create my own bass. I'm doing stuff and promoting everybody else's. Hey, why not promote my own? Why not? If y'all buy it, y'all buy it. I tried it with a strap. I didn't know. I didn't go after it for, when I did this strap, quick story. I didn't have this strap in mind. Let me put it up here instead of me trying to hold this strap the whole time. When I decided to do these straps, let me rephrase this. I wanted a strap because I was having this base right here built, right? I was having that base built, and I wanted something like, man, I want something just, my new base. I want something unique, different from everybody else, something that's kind of personal to me. And I wonder if anybody can do that. So I started looking to see if I could find any companies that would do straps or anything like that, and that would do custom straps. And I ran up on this company, Evo Straps, EVO. They make dope straps. If you don't want my strap, they still make some really dope straps, by the way, if you want to follow them on social media. Yeah, they make some really, really great straps. So anyway, I reached out to the creator of Evo Straps, and I was like, yo, man, I got this idea. I want to put my logo on a strap. I saw you did some custom straps for some other people. Would you be willing to, do this with me? And absolutely. All right. So it was a done deal. So the guy, what ended up happening is he sent me some pictures. He sent me a DM on Instagram, some pictures of my strap. I'm like, fire, dope. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as I said that, he posted it to his social media, like something like another satisfied customer, something along those lines. And so I reposted it because I wasn't planning on putting it out until I had my base or whatever. I wasn't gonna show anybody, so it was personal to me. But he put it out there, and so I'm like, okay, he already put it out there, so let me just repost it. And I reposted it, and people start asking me, hey, where can I get those straps? Like, wait, what? So we had to scramble and put it together. And, because these straps were still costing me, so I had to pay for production and still try to make a profit off of it. So we had to scramble and put it together. So we put it together on the website, and these straps are available on the website, by the way. If you want to get your own JM signature strap, simply visit JermaineMorgan.net and go to my shop tab. So you can find all of that. But anyway, so we put the page together, and people started buying straps. I'm like, what? Because in my mind at the time, I didn't think, man, nobody want nothing, outside of the things that I was selling on YouTube, with my hoodies and T-shirts and stuff that had my logo on. I never thought that anybody would want a strap from me. But when I started selling them, I'm like, oh, people want straps from me. So all of these straps that you see on the screen right here, these are all custom orders, like custom orders that people wanted. So that gold and blue, I wouldn't have did that, but somebody else wanted it. So it was a custom order. So people were buying their own straps from me. And so I said, why not put a base out there? And so all these things that I'm telling you, I ain't playing a note, but I am leveraging my influence as a bass player to create my own stuff that sells by itself. So guess what? If I die, you can still get a JM signature strap. If I die, hopefully you can still get a JM signature bass. My kids can sell that until Jesus come back, as my homie said. They can sell that till Jesus come back. So now I've created ways, if with JermaineMorgan.net, with course after course after course. So it didn't have to be limited to, I don't want to do lessons. That's fine. You don't have to do lessons. Is there something that comes natural to you, or something that you can produce, a product that comes natural to you that you can sell in exchange for, what you've created, or your influence, or those types of things? Is there something you can create that doesn't require you to do anything? Those straps don't require me to do anything but place an order and send it to the customer. This base don't require me to do anything but, same thing, place an order, do some customizations, send it to the customer, right? Even with the book, that work is already done. The reason why I love the book and the courses that I'm giving y'all way too much juice right now. But the thing I love about the book and the what I was trying to say. The thing I love about the book and the courses and things that I do on my site, I do that work one time, and people continue to buy it over and over and over again. I got challenges that I've done. One of those challenges is in the description. So if you want to join my challenge that learn a little bit more about playing this bass, I've done that. And what I'm able to do with those challenges, let's say I do a challenge and only 5 people show up. Okay, 5 people showed up. Look, I've had this happen. Let's say I do a challenge and nobody shows up. One of my challenges, nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. One of my challenges. This is me being real vulnerable because I want to help y'all. So this is why I'm telling you this stuff, and I'm being 100% transparent. I did one of my challenges and nobody showed up for it, but I still showed up and I taught like it was a room full of people. I taught. I still taught the information that I had to cover, and we went through all of that stuff, and I monetized that again by reselling it. And if you follow that link, you might see one of them. But I monetized that again by putting that challenge, on a web page where you can go and purchase access to those videos. Now, I did the work one time. Nobody showed up. That's okay. I'm not going to get discouraged because there are very few people here, because I understand if this is a product, I can sell this product over and over and over again until Jesus come back, right? Or until I leave here. I can keep selling this product. So my encouragement to you guys, if you're putting something out there, if you got an event that you want to do, maybe this might speak to you a little better. You might be a person who wants to host events and do certain things. Don't get discouraged if you put your money and your effort and your time into this thing and nobody shows up. Now, what you want to do, record it. Record the thing. Now, what you do when you record this thing is you go back to your website or whatever thing that you've built, and now you make that available to the public to buy it, or you use it for something else. You use that particular event that you did as a free giveaway for something else that you're trying to push. Now you have something that you can use, and that time that you spent wasn't a waste. You're able to leverage that thing that you did. You got a live performance or whatever you did, if it was a comedy show, whatever it is. You have this live thing here. You're able to give it to people, package it, sell it, or package it and give it away as a free giveaway for something, and allow people to access this in order to get them to something else. Right? I'm giving y'all jewels right now. I might even take this video down after I finish because I'm saying too much. So I know what I'm talking about. It's the truth. I made over 6 figures with this stuff that I'm telling y'all about. And it wasn't because, or only because of my playing. So I know what I am talking about. Right? I'm done. I ain't saying no more. I'm not saying no more concerning this. So if you want to know more about this type of stuff, if you want the opportunity for me to help you in this regard to figure out, okay, what is it I do? I invite y'all to do a one-time coaching call with me. With this coaching call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you narrow down what it is you do or what it is you're trying to do, how it is to get into that thing, and to learn more about it so that you can, let me do this. I want to put this in the chat really quick. And you could simply sign up. You could simply sign up for one of my coaching sessions. And again, you tell me what it is you're trying to do. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you what I know to help you. And I ain't somebody just giving you a whole bunch of theory. This is stuff I'm living, moving, and breathing in right now. And I know it works. I know what I'm talking about works. So, all right, I'm going to read one of the comments. Jesse said, please don't take down the video, sir. My life's turned around because of your teachings. This is the first time catching you live in a long time. Good deal, Jesse. I might leave it up. But do me a favor. If I've struck a nerve with you today and you know, like, yo, I'm ready. I am ready to see how I can take this to the next level. Set up a coaching call. They're not free. I'm going to tell you that now. The coaching calls are not free. I just told y'all about the whole time. And so I ain't trying to hide it. The coaching calls are not free. I know the information that I have is valuable, and I know I paid for this information big time. But I want to help you get there a lot faster. And the little fee, whatever it is that you pay me for getting way ahead of the game on learning what it is you got to do, it's going to be worth your value. It's going to be worth your investment. I can guarantee you that. So anyway, I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. Let's go back through some of these comments because I missed a whole bunch of stuff talking. But I hope that you've got something really, really valuable from this today. And if you have, be sure to leave a thumbs up. Be sure to leave a thumbs up if you got something valuable for this. This will help my rankings with YouTube. YouTube, you know how they do. So I need y'all to leave a thumbs up with this stuff if this was helpful for you. All right, so let's get back to some of these comments. I'm gonna try to read some of these so I can wrap this up. Let's see here. Michael, and if I don't read your comment, maybe it was too far gone into the conversation. I don't know what we're talking about at that point, so I see the comment, and I might have seen it when I was talking, but I had to try to make sure I focus. I told y'all I'm 40 now, so I got to get my ideas out. So, all right. So Michael Anderson says you need the investments as well. Alter Bridge says I'm someone who found myself helping out an old country blues dude, and the songs are starting to irritate me. I'm basically listening to the songs that don't gel with me all day and is wearing me down. I get it, Alter. He says my social life is when a friend comes over to borrow some PA equipment and we have a beer and a bit of jam before his wife calls him for dinner. I get what you're saying, Alter. So yeah, you got to work on that, Doc. You got some decisions to make, Alter. So yeah, good day, bro. This is Reynold from Trinidad. Says now start to understand the bass. Start to try to. I guess you're saying you're starting to understand the bass. That's good, man. I'm glad you're starting to understand it. He says, give me some chart. Give me some charts. Sean Lewis says, my last gig was 3 hours, almost 30 cover songs. No, sir. You can have all of that. He says, learning all these songs was a task. I don't retain music that fast either. Yeah, you can have all of that. My guy, Jerry Phillips. If y'all not following Jerry, follow Jerry. Jerry is a monster bass player. Jerry, you got to post some new content. I'm sending people over right now. Jerry is a monster bass player. If you still here, Jerry says, have you ever had to learn songs hours before the gig? It's the craziest thing. Absolutely. So that's another thing that made me start charting out stuff, because all of a sudden the pastor feeling his spirit, he want to hear this song. It's Sunday morning, Doc. What you mean you want to hear this song? Like, so you get this text right before church. Hey, y'all, put your ears on this. And this song starts out. The intro is like this right here. Yeah, I'm being extra, but the intro is nuts. Like, and talking about put your ears on this before we get here, bruh. Like So to answer your question, Jerry, yes, I had that happen. So that's why that good old charting system, learning songs quickly, is very important to me. So now I can get through the song without crashing and burning. Because here's the thing: all the people at the gig or at the church, they don't know you just got this song. They think you just can't play it. And so now you kill the integrity of your performance because you can't remember the song. And it wasn't your fault, but nobody cares. So that's why it's important for you to have a good system. All right. So found the transcription the morning before a gig. I didn't learn. And behold, they put it in the first set. Got you. Sean Lewis says, I usually bring an iPad to refresh my memory if I forget certain. There you go. Have something there like as a backup. I know that's right. Let's see. Let's go on down. Tommy the Black says, good word, bro. Thank you, sir. What are some of the things you listen for in a song to develop a bass line in contemporary worship music? So you're saying, like, if I'm creating the bass line, Blake, well, if I'm creating the bass line, first and foremost thing, let me do this real quick, guys. I'm gonna show you my book again because my battery is about to die on this camera. Give me just a second. I'm still talking, but we're gonna change this camera around. So Blake, one of the things I always do, I always try to be mindful of the context of the music. And I listen to that type of music and that style of music to figure out, I don't want to say what's acceptable, but to figure out what's required in that type of music. I'm sorry. I always try to see what's required in that style of music. If I'm going to be playing that style of music, I want to know what's required. So I want to know what's the normal feel for that music. So that's going to help give me context as to kind of where I need to stay by putting the music in its original context. So if I'm listening to a CCM type song, and I got to develop a bass line on my own, well, I'm going to listen to music that feels like that. I'm always trying to reference something. Anytime I produce a song for an artist, or even I'm recording a song for a producer, I'm going to either ask them for a reference track, or I'm going to try to get them to tell me what kind of feel are you going for. Like when I'm producing an artist and they tell me, hey, I want to do this song. Okay, who do you hear yourself sounding like? And they don't have to be an exact replica, but give me a couple of people to pull from. I'm trying to go for this kind of sound. I want it slightly Al Green and then just a little hint of Prince. That's weird. But let me see if I can merge those two worlds, right? Because if I got context of both, context is everything. It gives me all I need to make the right decision to deliver the song in the way that they want it, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to find context, Blake, to what you asked me. I'm always looking for context. And once I get context, that helps me to deliver in a way that, people are looking for. So I think that answers that question. So Gamaliel Ramos, Puerto Rico. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you. Maurice says life insurance. Take 10 to 20% of your gigs and invest it in interest and earning accounts so you can get paid tomorrow of what you did last month. Listen, that you talking good, Dr. Maurice. We probably need to do a live on some of this stuff because that's some good talking for musicians, just life insurance in general. I've seen some of those situations where musicians didn't have life insurance. So yeah, Maurice, we might need to sit down and if you got some knowledge on that, we might need to sit down and do some talking about that for musicians. All right, so Isaiah, if I'm saying that wrong, please forgive me. I think it's Isaiah. He says, as a church guy and a bass player, I see all you're talking about, brother. He put an exclamation point under that. So I see everything you're saying. If all the pastors around and all the people in the music environment, church-wise, I got you. I see what you're saying. So this is the valuable and hard truth. More than I appreciate that. Amen there. People need to realize that music is more important than they think. Absolutely. Music is ingrained in everything. Everything we do, music is there. So Maurice says there is a great need for musician financial literacy class, invest, retirement, and game plan. Absolutely, I agree. We definitely have to have a game plan for all of that, and that's what I'm trying to do with what it is I'm sharing here. So let's continue this. Jesse says, I just got in. I have to go through the video after this. Are you singing or signing any of your bases? Good question, Sean. Yes, I will absolutely sign all of these bases. I will absolutely sign. I have no problem getting my Sharpie out and absolutely signing all of these bases. And I'll sign it on the back just because you don't want nobody to see it at the gig. I sign it on the back. So, yeah, I will be signing these bases. Jesse says, wow, this must just be God. This must just be God. I was just thinking about starting my own business too, selling bass gig bags. I just place my order and sell. There you go. Please don't take down this. Okay, I got you. Tommy says, so dope. Floppy says, just arrived home. Hi, all. Floppy, you're going to have to go back and rewind, Doc. So, Freeline, what's up, man? Great information. Thank you for sharing your heart with us. Sold out. Carlin, what up, Doc? So you've been hearing me wearing out your phrase this morning, until Jesus come back. Listen, that's what we're doing. We're doing it till Jesus come back. So Blake, absolutely. So everybody that's chimed into this talk this morning, thank y'all all so much for chiming in. I hope, I don't hope, I know this has been helpful. If you don't do nothing with it, my hands is, I wash my hands of this. I'm telling y'all what to do. I'm showing you what to do. I'm showing you that this stuff, it's valuable. Don't kill yourself on no gig. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And I say kill yourself. I use those strong words because I feel like some musicians have literally killed themselves, figuratively speaking, in terms of not eating right, not taking care of their bodies, just running themselves, not getting enough rest because it's like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. My family gotta eat. And we have good intentions, but your body cares nothing about your good intentions, right? All of these different things, all these different externals care nothing about your good intentions. So you got to make calculated decisions about the things you're going to do. If you want to build a life that you want, and if you want to be able to leave a legacy, you got to make calculated risks. Take calculated risks and make good decisions moving forward. And I'm done. All right, Sean, much love to you as well, man. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me. I will catch y'all on the next one. If you like this, be sure and share this with somebody. Hit that bell notification and turn on my notifications so you know when I go live, when I post new content. I will be posting more content of me playing this bass, maybe some covers, those types of things, so y'all can hear this bass more in the context. of songs and music and all that kind of stuff. So stay connected and be sure you staying connected with me. Oh yeah, if you're not a member of my mailing list and get my emails and those type of things, in the description of this video, especially if you're watching in the replay, you can simply join my mailing list by hitting that link in the description. And yeah, and whatever else you find down there, be sure to go explore that as well. Floppy said, we'll go back and listen, sir. Hope you're well. Just finished work for Christmas, so God bless you. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas to some of you guys. If I don't see you before Christmas happens, Merry Christmas to you all. And happy holidays to everybody. So, all right, I'm out for real this time. I'm coming to my close. All right, peace. Much love, y'all.